Good morning. This is the view out of the cave. Of course, I didn't sleep here last night. I slept in my car down there. Just wanted to show you the view from in here again. I slept well last night. I don't think it rained. If it did, I didn't hear it. It's a little bit after 8 o'clock. I went to bed at about 10, so I got about 10 hours of sleep. That's the best thing about these trips. I just sleep forever, most of the time. I'm going to have some breakfast now. I'm gonna make a breakfast quesadilla, and then I'll talk about my plans for the day, which I don't really have. I'm not entirely sure what I'm gonna do, but I'll be thinking about it as I eat breakfast. This is the result of my morning cooking endeavors. Ham and cheese quesadilla, very tasty. I'm all packed up and ready to go with my new shelf here. Got nice storage over here on top, then also underneath in this bin that kind of hangs below the shelf. Also, this is the first time I'm using this new camping mattress. This is a 1.5 inch thick self-inflating mattress that I bought from Amazon for like $35 or $36. Very reasonably priced. And I bought this because my old one, my old $130 camp bed from REI, I loaned it to my girlfriend because she moved into a new apartment. And anyway, long story short, my girlfriend's roommate's dog ripped it up and destroyed it. So I got this guy off of Amazon. It's much narrower. It's probably about, I don't know, 4 inches narrower than my last one, and also a couple inches thinner. But it's actually really nice because it gives me more leg room under here, and it's really not noticeably less comfortable. Like, it's perfectly fine. It's perfectly comfortable last night. I was just laying on it for a few hours watching TV shows on my tablet, and then I slept for 10 hours last night, so obviously gets the job done. If you're looking for one for your vehicle, you know, this is a great option. I'll put a link in the description for it. I like that it is narrow, and so there is now extra room over here on the side that I didn't have before, extra storage room. That's pretty cool. And also, in the future, when my girlfriend comes with me on trips, I'll be able to put 2 of these side by side. It's narrow enough that 2 of them will fit back here. It's about 10 o'clock now. I've just been shooting a couple other little videos, little review videos, and just tidying up in the SUV. I'm gonna try to get to the top of this little hill formation here, just behind my campsite. I don't know if I'll be able to because of this middle band of cliffs, but I'm hoping that on the other side I can go over there and maybe see a different way to get up. Alright, this is the back side, I think. So I can at least get up to this tier up here. I don't know if I'll be able to go around the back side, but I might be able to cross the ledge over to that side. I don't know, let's go find out. Alright, I came up from over here, and I checked out going to the right, but that looked a little bit sketchy, so I came over here to the left. And I think I can scramble up here to the top. Oh, wow. This is awesome. So over here is where I'm camped. You can see the cave right here. Just such nothingness, so much nothingness out here. And then this is the Great Salt Lake. I think these are some evaporation ponds in the near ground here. There's a mine over here. This is lakeside, and there's an active mining operation. Just incredible landscape here. Incredible geology. This is really just mesmerizing almost, being up here and just looking out at the black rock and these harsh looking mountains out here. I just saw that there's a little natural arch down here, so let's go check that out. Alright, let's head back to camp and get back on the road. Alright, it's 10:49 and time to hit the road again. Goodbye, cave. Goodbye, Great Salt Lake, although I'll see you again in a couple hours. Goodbye, mountains. This is definitely a cool area, and I'm happy that, that I was able to come out here. You could spend days out here exploring all the little crags and cliffs and caves and everything, but I'm still glad I came here, even though it wasn't for a super long amount of time. But time to hit the road now. Nice tumbleweeds out here. It's been about an hour since I left my campsite. I'm at a place called Big Springs. Sorry for the wind. I can't control that. This is Big Springs. This is a natural spring just south of Interstate 80. And I wanted to come here because this area is along the Hastings Cutoff. And that is a variation of the Oregon and California trails, mostly the California Trail. It's a variation on the trail that went through Utah instead of going through Idaho. Boy, it is windy out there. So this spring is where the overland pioneers in the late 1840s and early 1850s would stop and water their animals. You can actually still see the wagon marks of the wagons that took the Hastings Cutoff near here, and I'm going to go find them in a few minutes here. But also I think that Jedediah Smith passed through this way, John C. Fremont. So this corridor right here, and this spot in particular, Big Springs, is a spot of historical value. There's a rock formation out here. It's called Lone Rock. I've actually been out there before. I'm not going to go out there on this trip. I think that used to be called Pilot Rock. It's called Lone Rock now, but back in the day, the pioneers, that was a well-known landmark on the Wagon Trail that came through this area. So I think there's a mountain here. This is the northernmost point of the Stansbury Mountains. I think there's a road that I can get to up here to have a good view for a viewpoint. So I'm gonna try to go over there. I've seen it on Google Maps, on Google Earth. I don't know if my car can make it up there, but let's give it a shot. Okay, you can see the road going up the hillside over there. Oh, I didn't realize. Okay, so this is kind of funny. So See that big cliff over there? I actually have climbed that cliff before. I didn't realize that's where it was. But I have actually established a new rock climb on that cliff. If I have pictures, I will post them. Don't know if I do, but anyway, I need to pay attention to the road here. The road's pretty rocky, so I'm gonna put the camera down and just drive this road here. Yeah, as I expected, the road here is a bit too rough for my liking, so I'm not gonna go that way, but we are at the foot of the cliff here. We named this cliff, I think it's called the Blob's Uncle, or Blob's Your Uncle. The guy that I climbed it with named this rock the Blob, or this one the Blob, I don't remember. One of these, I think that one's the Blob. And so we called this one Blob's Your Uncle. It's a good 300 or 400 feet high. It's a good sized cliff. Pretty good climbing on it too. Okay, so let's turn around, go back out that way, go past the spring again. Have a few other points of interest marked on my map here. Not quite sure which one's next, but okay, yeah, I think I can go find some wagon tracks. So let's go find the wagon tracks. And then again, there are more places after that, but first let's go find the wagon tracks. As I drove back past Big Springs here, I saw this marker that I didn't see before, and it says Hastings Cutoff, Big Springs, California Trail. And then it looks like this is an excerpt from a Pioneer Journal. It says travel 15 miles and encamped by a point of the mountain at a very large spring of brackish water and but little grass. And that journal entry was in 1846, which is interesting because it predates the Mormon immigration into the Salt Lake Valley by a year. I think the Mormons came in 1847, so very interesting. We've got here some signs. I think these are called Masonite signs. Lincoln Highway, California Trail. Can you imagine driving through this valley in 1846? I've said this before about other similarly desolate places, but like, this place is in the middle of nowhere now. I can't imagine coming here in 1846. You must have just felt like you were the only people left on Earth. It really, you know, gives you an appreciation for what those pioneers went through. And I forgot to mention kind of the historical significance of the Hastings Cutoff here, is that it's what the ill-fated Donner Party took when they were going to California. They took the Hastings Cutoff, and then after them, because that was such a disaster, the Hastings Cutoff kind of fell out of favor after that point, so it was mostly disused after the Donner Party. So I'm actually driving now on the Lincoln Highway, and the significance of the Lincoln Highway is that it was the first transcontinental road. It was the first highway across America. So that's why there was the historical marker. That's why this road is important. And again, the road follows the trail of the Hastings Cutoff, the Hastings Cutoff branch of the California Trail. And again, as was the case yesterday, you can see that horizontal line up on the mountain, and that's the shoreline of the ancient Lake Bonneville, the remains of which are the Great Salt Lake. So at home, I looked on Google Earth and I saw what I thought were the wagon tracks, right, of the old Hastings Cutoff. And I marked the line on my GPS, on my map, because I thought it might be hard to find once I was on the ground. And so the Lincoln Highway is over here where my car is parked. And over here is the California Trail sign. The California Trail is somewhere over here. I can't really see it. You can't really see it from the ground, but I bet if I had a drone, I could see the wagon tracks. I'll put the GPS coordinates here so that you can enter it on Google Maps, or the satellite view and see for yourself the wagon tracks. I did mark a couple other spots where a modern dirt road crosses what I think are the wagon tracks. And so I'm gonna go see if I can find, or go to those places and see if I can find any wagon tracks there. Anyway, now let's see what's next on my list. Speaking of springs, I think there is a spring that I'm gonna go look at. Another spring. Let's go check it out. Alright, so I just turned off the main road and I'm heading toward this parking area here. There's a nice little BLM parking area, and this is Horseshoe Springs. I just passed a California trail marker. I'll check that on the way out, but this is, like I said, this is Horseshoe Springs, and this is another spring on the California Trail where people would stop to get water and water their animals and things like that. I think there's a little boardwalk trail that goes around the spring. Also, this is supposed to be a hot spring, or warm spring. I think it's like 70 degrees year-round. It's 66 degrees Fahrenheit outside right now, so not that big of a difference, but still interesting. Beautiful place this is. At least I think it's beautiful. Here's the Hastings cutoff sign, and you can kind of see the path where wagons would have gone. Let's go a little bit further this way and see what it looks like. Peters out up here. Very cool. Alrighty, on to the next one, on to the next place. Gonna head now to a ghost town called Iosepa, which has a very interesting history because it was settled by I think Hawaiians who had converted to Mormonism and came to Utah in like either the late 1800s or early 1900s. Pretty interesting. Pretty stark contrast to come to Hawaii, or come here from Hawaii, huh? But it's down the road. There should be more information there, a sign. And then there are some petroglyphs that they made when they were here, and they're very interesting. I guess if they're not that old, they're not petroglyphs, but whatever. But they're things like turtles and whales, and they're on a boulder somewhere perched high up on the hillside above the site of the old town. If you look online, you can find information and pictures about this boulder, but no one is gonna say where it is. No one says where it is. I have a hunch where it might be based on some of the pictures that I've seen, so I might go check it out. It will require a bit of a hike up a hill, and it's very dark. The sky is very dark over there where I need to go. So we'll see if I can find it. If not, just seeing the ghost town itself should be interesting. Alright, yeah, here's a little sign here with more information. Basically, Hawaiians were here from 1889 to 1917. They worked for the Mormon Church agricultural department or something. And when a Mormon temple was built in Hawaii, a lot of them moved back to Hawaii. And This is the Iosepa cemetery. Wow, this person was only buried here a couple of months ago. I love cemeteries. I think cemeteries are fantastic. They're just very peaceful places. At least they are when there aren't gale force winds. There's a lei and some necklaces made out of shells here. Hawaiian flag. I think that's a Hawaiian flag. All right, enough of the cemetery. I'm gonna go climb up the mountain here, try to find the boulder with the petroglyphs in it. I think it's up here somewhere, the boulder. It's so windy. I think I found the boulder right there. Okay, so let me give you a tour of these here. Looks like we've got a sun, and a beach with a palm tree and some birds. Some people holding hands in a circle. We've got a little person right here. It's very small. An eye or a sun that's even smaller. I think that's a fish. Here's a boat. And this one, it looks like a world, an earth, like a sphere with a line or a river on it, and then some trees, some palm trees maybe. And then here are the best ones. Here's a turtle with my hand for scale, and a whale. Looks like a little dog or something like that. I don't know what this is, or this, maybe a rabbit. What do you think this one is? And there we have it. That is Story Rock. It's super windy. I'm tired of being in the wind. I was gonna hike up to the top of the mountain, but it's just too windy. So I'm gonna head back down to the car. I don't know how long it took me to get up here. Let me check my phone. Probably took about half an hour, 35 minutes to get up here. And it's beautiful. Look at this. This is Skull Valley. Very starkly beautiful area. All right, time to head back down. Found a snake skin. Oh man, I made it back to my car. It's sprinkling a little bit. I think I'm done for the day. I was already feeling that way when I was up there and it was super windy. And then now that it's raining, I think I'm done. I had a few other things planned, but I think I'll save that for next time. I could even come back in a week to this area, you know? It's not far away. Like right now I'm about an hour and a half from home. I wanted to talk a little bit about sharing the coordinates and the location of some of these places that I've been to in the last 2 days. I don't really feel comfortable being the person that puts them out there online for everyone to see. Even without those coordinates, I was able to find all these places just by doing a bunch of research and online sleuthing and looking at maps and stuff like that. And I think that's kind of what made this so much fun for me, is that going to the cave and the Red Man pictograph yesterday, and then to these Hawaiian petroglyphs, you know, the thrill of the hunt was definitely part of the reason why I've enjoyed this trip so much. And so by just throwing the GPS coordinates out there, it kind of kills that sense of fun, that sense of exploration. So I don't know. I don't think I'm going to give these coordinates away, but just by looking at my videos just by looking at the footage, you'll have way more information than I did. I'll tell you so this is kind of a stage complex here in Iosepa. The boulder that I was just at, the Hawaiian petroglyph boulder, is at the base of these cliffs up here. Not really the base, but it's below those cliffs. Just armed with that information, you'll be able to find it. So I don't feel too bad about not giving the coordinates. You can, you know, you're a grown up, you can figure it out too, just like I did. So that's it for this video. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you think of my policy, I guess, of not giving out these locations. Maybe you'll change my mind. I don't know. But I hope you enjoyed this little 2-day adventure. I really enjoyed it. I love this area. I love just wide open spaces. I love desert. And so I really enjoyed this trip. And I hope you did too. Thanks for watching.